Broadcast Cal here with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone stand up and say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nice job, everyone. Now get out there and explore, discover, and create. Broadcast.
Cowboy, the Kevin Allen Show welcomes you to today's show. So, sit back, relax, and put your thinking caps on, and remember to share, like, and subscribe.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday, folks out there across America and wherever you are watching us on the World Wide Web. Right here, the Kevin Allen Show coming to you live. It's been a while since we've been doing the consistent live shows, but I'm going to tell you, I'm back in the groove. You know, that CPAC trip that we went down to the DC area last week gave me it reinvigorated me to get on this microphone and start talking. And you know, it's one thing that I know. It's something that comes easy to me when I'm in the mood, man. I could talk for hours. I think I could break some records. I don't need a script. I know that I have enough dialogue right here in today's show that we're going to have some great guests and topics that you're going to be really interested in listening to and meeting some of the new people we're going to be bringing on the show this year in 2023. But also, let's celebrate some of those people that have been consistent with us. Victor Avila, of course, the famed story, ICE Agent Under Fire. He'll be on this morning. We're supposed to see Victor actually in D.C. For a sentencing of the criminals who shot him in the face and also killed his partner as he was operating undercover as an ICE agent and shot from the very guns under the Obama administration. Fast and Furious. Victor V will be our first guest this morning. After that, we're going to have Laura DiBendito. Oh my gosh, Laura's going to beat me up. I met her out at SHOT Show. This is a really interesting conversation because, as you know, I got Joey Guns right here at LLC. It's one of our main sponsors. We love Joey and Jen and what they've been doing. And one of the things I love about this industry of the Second Amendment 2A industry is there's a lot more women and minorities, but more importantly, I saw more women out at the SHOT Show event this past January out in Vegas. And when we met Laura, we bumped into her. We started talking. You could tell right away she's very dynamic, but she's a powerful woman in the industry, running and operating an ammo manufacturing facility down in Florida. We'll be talking to her later on the show. Dominic Rapini, an old friend from the past, coming on today. I haven't talked to Dominic in a while. He's going to give us some updates on what's going on in Connecticut with some of these new laws, the new policies, and what's going on with Ned Lamont trying to pass some really crazy stuff, especially when it comes to, you know, Dominic ran for Secretary of State. He's very qualified, very confident in the information he has. So he'll be coming on later today, and we'll talk about what's going on in Connecticut, what's going to be affecting your voting rights right here in Connecticut moving forward. Also, Dan Morezzi. Dan ran for a state representative position, or excuse me, state senate against one of our favorite evil senators, Bob Duff, right here from Connecticut. Bob Duff is famed for lying about the police officers in his community, spitting on him. I say spatting sometimes if I want to sound smart, but it's spitting. He made a claim about that. He was proved, it was debunked. He was a liar. Of course, he got reelected. Dan did not win in that race because of obviously the area for which Dan is running, very heavily controlled by the liberal extreme side of the House. And I want to make a very defined point right now. I don't care going forward. I don't have any hate for anybody. I don't hate anyone. I've given my life to God, and I don't have hate in my heart for anyone. But I will fight Democrat, extreme, socialist, communists every day. And this is exactly what Dan's doing right here. We're going to hear what he's got going on because the GOP, down with me, GOP. Now, remember, I formerly was a Republican in Connecticut. And I want to be very clear about why I left the Republican Party in Connecticut, especially before we get Dan on, because it's very important to understand the Republican Party in Connecticut is broken. And I will guarantee if you give 5 minutes, I don't care if you are, Dan Proto, if you're Themis Claridis, if you're, Mike France, I don't care who you are, Bob Stefanowski. If you can come on this show and prove to me that the Republican Party's working, I'll do a fundraiser and give $1,000 any donation you want to donate it to. We'll raise the money. I know my people will raise the money. If you can prove to me in a conversation how the Republican Party isn't broken in Connecticut, because it is clearly broken. In 50 years, no one in the Republican Party has taken leadership. Well, with the exception of John Rowland, who ruined it, the criminal John Rowland, who lied to the Connecticut people, and then Jody Rell, which I think was probably one of the most pure politicians that has ever served. Of course, I'm very friendly with Mike Rell, her son. I think Mike's a great guy, serving as a first selectman right here in Connecticut as well, as he's also a lobbyist up at the state capitol. Mike Rell actually, refreshingly, works with a Democratic partner, Jim Amon, the former speaker. I know these guys well. I know their hearts. I know they're real, honest people. And I don't think anyone that looks back on the past of Connecticut thinks what's going on today, past politics, that is, especially if you've been up to the Dome. If you served under the Dome in Connecticut, under the Gold Dome, like I have, if you've seen behind the curtain, you've seen the absolute chaos that's being caused by bad policies, you'd understand as well that there's so many people that are just biting their nails, wondering when things are going to change. And Dan's going to touch on what this new move in the Republican GOP party here in Connecticut to do away with primaries for constitutional offices in Connecticut. Now, this is very clear because I got a chance to talk to my friend Lee Elsey. He's going to be coming on the show. And Lee had Mr. Proto on just yesterday. Mr. Proto, the chair of the Republican Party here in Connecticut. And he was able to ask the question about this Themis Claridis rule and whatever they're calling it out there. And I've been getting a lot of emails and contacts, phone calls, talking to the great people that form and others, and asking us if we would look into this. So we are going to look into it. We're going to look into it because Mr. Proto has been a lightning rod for controversy since he's taken office. Now, a lot of people want to tell you that Mr. Proto is this or that. I don't know Mr. Proto. He's been on my show when it was a long time ago, a few minutes, and ever since I came out and questioned leadership or questioned Themis Claridis, I've been shut down from the Republican Party. And let me be honest with you, it was the best thing that ever happened to me in my political career. To walk away, Brendan, Stocker, who we got a chance to see down at CPAC, and his great walk away, to walk away from the Republican Party here in Connecticut to become a libertarian and side up with obviously Dr. Aaron Lewis, who I thought was an amazing energy, was the experience I needed in politics. It opened my eyes to the corruption that takes place in politics. Folks, anything that's going on right now in politics, let me let you in on a little secret here. It is all about power, greed, and it only is supported by money. And we all know that. Let's not be naive, right? Money is what drives everything. But what's driving the Republican Party here in Connecticut? We're going to hear from Dan later on the show and more. I think we're going to have other people. I'm sure Dominic will want to chime in on that. And we'll have some other folks that might want to chime in as well. Of course, our producer, Mark, in the back room, he might even have a comment or two. We'll see if we let him out of the back room and get into the conversation today. But right here in Connecticut is an example of what's going on, like I experienced down at CPAC. Folks, when we were down at CPAC, it was interesting. All the corporate media world that wasn't there, the Fox News was not part of it this year. Newsmax was the primary anchor station. And then there was Steve Bannon and so many other great stations, Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly releasing their own podcast. And I think there's a major trend going on in news media. And what that is we might have been ahead of the 8 ball. What we've been doing for 3 years is exactly what it seems like everyone out there in the space of covering these topics is going to the podcast style version. I think it's a compliment to what we didn't even realize we were in front of. I mean, podcasts have been around a long time. We didn't invent them. I get it. I'm not Joe Rogan. I get it. But I'm telling you, from the trends that we saw down at CPAC, the underground news media is becoming more and more supported by the core group of supporters. And those very people are the same people that supported Donald Trump run in 2024. So, for example, the Washington Examiner, look on, I think I reposted it Sunday night. I got an interview, got a hit piece for the is that what I'm supposed to call it? Hit piece? Is that what you? So I need Angie Wong and Victor to tell me exactly how I answer these questions because they're really experts at that hit piece and all that. I don't even know it. I just gave some comments and I had an interesting conversation with a young fellow who wanted to ask me right out of the box about Donald Trump. It wasn't about how CPAC is it exciting here? Are you getting enthusiastic? Are you enjoying the time? What do you think? No, right out of the box, the Washington Examiner. And Mark, if you can pull up that article, I did post it. If you can try to find it for me, it'd be great. Put it right there into the comments for us. The Washington Examiner interviewed myself and my business partner, the Mountain Man from Colorado. You'll be meeting him later on in the week. And Jonathan Goldstein. Jonathan Goldstein didn't get quoted, so I don't know why. Maybe they're anti-Jew, Jonathan. Maybe they don't want to talk to the Jewish folks, but they quoted me and the Mountain Man. And in the quote, it's very simple who I am. It's very simple what I was about. But, the question kept on coming from the nice young reporter who wanted to know, about Trump. It's all about Trump. See, Trump drives numbers, folks. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the content is. It doesn't matter the conversation. It doesn't matter what they do on CNN or CBS or NBC. If Mika and her clown boyfriend there, or husband, whatever he is now, the former disgraced Republican, if they want to talk about Donald Trump, it's only to drive their ratings, exactly what the Washington Examiner was trying to do with us that day. And so I gave him, my opinion, but I followed up with a question. I said, well, who are you voting for? And you know what the response of this young reporter was? Oh, I don't vote. I don't vote. I stay out of that. I stay out of that because voting would not be appropriate. Voting wouldn't be appropriate because you use your pens and your little fingers on the keyboards and you spread the word of hate and disdain towards one person and one person. You got to ask yourself, why is there so much hate and anger towards one individual in this country? What did he do? Did he destroy? Did he go out and execute little kittens on the front lawn at the White House when he was in office? Did he go out and lock up mass amounts of Black Americans? Just swept them off the streets? Did he go out and order January 6th? Because that's the claim, right? A lot of the folks in this country want to say, oh, Donald Trump. Well, listen to the words that he said. Peaceful protests. Peaceful protests. See, but CNN, the Washington Examiner, and the rest of them won't put the real truth out there. They put bits and pieces. Folks, we need one reform in this country. And if we can get it, we can change it forever. And that is to reform and hold the media accountable in this country once and for all. I don't care what Kyle Rittenhouse did with suing CNN. I think it was beautiful. And we should continue that kind of lawfare and attacking them when they are trying to destroy us. Back in a moment, Victor Avila, our friend from the Texas border and beyond, right here on the Kevin Allen Show. Welcome back, and here we are live on the Kevin Allen Show, Tuesday edition. Our good friend Victor Avila from the great border. I think you're down on the border today, Victor.
I'm heading down there.
You are, sir. Thank you so much for taking time, brother.
Absolutely, lots to share, man. Lots to share today, Kevin.
I know it's early. What are we? 2 hour delay with you, or 3 hour?
1 hour.
You're 1 hour behind me. There you go. So, yeah, Victor, Central. We missed you. Let's start right out with this. And I got to tell you that I apologize. I should have reached out to you earlier. I was in D.C. and I remember you had said that you were going to be going to the sentencing of the individuals shot and killed your partner and shot you and left you to die, of course, with the guns given to them by the Obama administration, Fast and Furious. What happened with the sentencing? You didn't end up going to D.C. What happened?
At the very last moment, the U.S. Attorney's Office postponed the hearing after I had done a lot of arrangements, not just me and my family, but with colleagues, congressmen. I wanted to pack that courtroom, as I had told you, Kevin. I had asked you to come and get all the support. Well, they canceled it. They postponed it. It's going to happen now sometime in late May. They're giving me the date of May 23rd or 24th. And the reason being is because they could not get the prisoners transferred from Colorado to DC in time, which is BS. And it is just incredible to me that they had, all these months to get the bodies over, and they didn't. And so now we regroup and do it all over again, and hopefully get this over and done with in May.
Well, we will be there. We will help you cover it. And of course, anything we can do to help you, Victor, to get that word out there, tapping into any of our resources that seem to be growing. And we're really privileged. I wish you were in DC, because I would have loved to spend some time with you to kind of get to know you a little better. The first time we ever actually physically met was out in Vegas. But the story of what you share in Ice Agent Under Fire, I'm just wondering, why is corporate media not interested in what happened to you and your partner? They haven't been. Is it because of Obama and he's the golden child?
It's Obama. It's the cover up between Obama, Eric Holder. Eric Holder should be in prison for what he did in Operation Fast and Furious, and the weapons that they allowed to go from the U.S. into Mexico to kill thousands of Mexican nationals and arm these cartels, but also 2 U.S. agents now, Border Patrol Agent Brian Terry, 2 months before our shooting. Then obviously the death of Agent Jaime Zapata with me on February 11, 2011. And I survived that ambush by the grace of God. And so, it's a cover up for sure. Never in the last 12 years, either the Terry family or myself have been able to obtain any documents, none whatsoever, related to Fast and Furious or my shooting, because Obama asserted executive privilege and protection on those documents.
The same executive privilege that we now see from corporate media criticizing the former president of the 45th. This is the concepts that these people think they live by. They can live by it should be good for the goose, it shouldn't be good for the gander. They are reverse of logic when it comes to these kind of exposing the truth. What can we do as the American people? I know we got more to talk about with the border, but what can we do to press this information to the media to expose what happened to you and your partner?
That's the key. That's the key, is the media. The media obviously is not on our side. We have to use our own media, our own resources to get the word out. And that's what I've been trying to do, Kevin, and with help like you and others that are off of that mainstream media that will just refuse to tell the truth. And that's what it is. We're telling the truth. We just want the public to know the truth of what happens. These deaths of these agents are important because they're out there defending our homeland. They're out there. It's important for the people to know what their government is doing, what their elected officials are ordering our law enforcement entities to do or not do. What's happening with the FBI and ATF and all this mess. And it's not, I don't blame the agents on the ground. It's not them. It's the management, is this quote unquote leadership of these agencies that are just so incompetent, ideologically wrong, and a combination of both is deadly.
It is, and it's obviously one that seems like the American people, they'll get in line and they just kind of like walk along and shuffle along like it's just a beautiful day. And we know the scary part is the truth is not being told to the American people. Now, the truth of the southern border right now is probably one of those lies that is most impacting, 100,000+ overdose fatalities in this country. Yet we have, put 40 billion, 80 billion, $100 billion into the Ukraine war, a border we don't touch. Your thoughts on what's going on the southern border right now, and what do the American people need to do, in your opinion, to make sure we wake up this president?
One thing is, right now, for some reason, the narrative, again, here we go with the left setting the narrative that, oh, everything's calming down at the border and it's getting better. No, it's not. It's actually getting worse. People are being smuggled into this country every day. Thousands of people continue to come in and escorted under the catch and release program of this administration. And plus, Americans are being killed. You just probably heard about the 4 Americans killed in Matamoros on the other side of Brownsville, Texas, that were shot up by possibly the Gulf cartel, and they took the bodies. These are the things that we're having to deal with. Americans being killed on both sides of the border, and Mexico's doing nothing about it. The U.S. is doing nothing about it. It's time to continue to put the pressure on this administration. Do it through your rep. Do it through the people that you put there, to demand of them, because remember, they work for us. They are there as a voice for us to get public safety and national security back under control.
You know, it's interesting you say that. Now, in this country, we came out of a midterm election in 2022. We know that we're going into a local election across this country. And I want everyone to listen to what we're saying here. Go to local officials at your Board of Educations, because the impact of the southern border is affecting your education. It's affecting your quality of life. It's affecting your everything, your taxes, your economy. Go to your local officials. Make sure you demand them to have an answer for you, and make sure they're checking with the governors and going up that chain. To Victor said, you know, Victor, one of the things that we saw recently also was, the tours down at the southern border. We saw Kevin McCarthy, a large group after Kevin McCarthy was given the gavel. Where is the comparison between leadership on one side and the other? And I want to be very clear with this. I don't want to hate anyone. You know, I recently found God and Jesus in my life, and I don't want to hate, but I also want to fight for America. And we can't fight for America if we're not being honest about it. But why is there such a divide between those two parties when it comes to this issue? Kevin McCarthy down there exposing Joe Biden? I don't know what's going on. Your thoughts?
Because Kevin, they've made this a political issue. Public safety, national security, human trafficking, fentanyl poisoning. How can that be a political issue? Everyone wants to be safe from those things, safe from the cartels. We should be completely united as a country when it comes to fighting that evil. How is that a partisan issue? But the left has made it a partisan issue because they have brainwashed the immigration issue, the illegal immigration issue, into all of this, and has kept the others from working and getting a real comprehensive legislation down there. Now, you mentioned McCarthy going down there. The House Homeland Security Committee will going to be hold the committee sessions on the border. The next one, March 15th in McAllen. The Judiciary has been down there, committee down there as well. I welcome that. They're holding it down there. I've talked to some border agents that in El Paso, for example, that they have now finally briefed these committees directly so they could understand. Let me tell you, some of this stuff is easy and it's quite self-explanatory. Then you get into the weeds and it gets pretty complicated, even for me, that I understand this about what's going on a daily basis with Border Patrol at these Border Patrol sectors and these stations as these people come in. It is getting complicated with who gets in, who gets out, who gets turned back, who gets put in a camp, who gets put on a bus, on an airplane, who's going where. Let me tell you, it is a mess down there. It's chaotic. And at least now our elected officials on the Republican side are getting the firsthand information, something that I wish that it always happens, right? Let them know, because the knowledge will allow them to be able to put that legislation forward, and they're going to continue to hold these hearings down at the border, and rightly so.
Interesting. And so I know we've been really, really waiting to get together down there. And I do have some conversations going on with Raven, some of the other folks from down there. I would love nothing more to be able to get down there with you for a few days or a week and do some live streaming coverage. So we're going to continue to work on that, Victor. I know it's my side, not yours. I'm going to let you know when we come up with some solutions. But I want to ask you, Victor, where can people find you if they want to follow you? I know you're on a talking tour. You do hit pieces. Now, please, let's stop for a second. I don't know this because I'm not a professional media person. I did a lot of interviews down at CPAC. I'm not used to. Is this a hit piece, what you're doing? I don't even know what this is.
This is a hit for me.
Right,
this is a hit.
Man, you're educating me, brother.
I texted my people like, I got a hit with Kevin Allen. So here's the thing, and I have some breaking news here for you. Kind of breaking because it's going to go live in the next 24 hours. But I'm running for Congress, and it's time that. I talk about it all the time, Kevin. You know that.
Did you break that this morning? Where did you break this news?
I'm breaking it basically here. It's going to go live within the next 24 hours. So
oh, wow.
The website's about to come up. The people that are listening, please stand by. I wish I could give it to you now. I just can't. It's going to come live in the next 24 hours. Congressional District 23. Yes, on the border from San Antonio to El Paso. I'm born and raised in El Paso. I've lived in San Antonio. You know how much time I spent down there. They know me, and no one that's running on this race. By the way, we're challenging the incumbent, and his name is Tony Gonzalez. And do your homework. Google him and see how this guy has betrayed the people of CD23, because yes, he has an R in front of his name, but he's nowhere close to being a conservative. This guy is actually a Democrat in disguise, and he was censured. 23 of the 28 counties that he represents, he was censured by the Republican Party on Saturday, and that's why the people have spoken. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to unseat this guy, and I'm going to represent. And guess what? That district right there is so important, because guess what? That's what controls the flow. I'm going to change it. I'm going to bring, you know, I'm unafraid, Kevin. I'm unafraid. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to make some changes, because not only does it help Texas, it's going to help the rest of the nation.
I got to tell you, Victor, thank you for honoring me just to even talk to me, honoring us on this platform to make this announcement. I know it's going to be a bigger field. You're going to be on Tucker. You're going to be all over the place soon. And folks, he's already on Fox. He does the hit piece. We know. We just clarify what that is.
I'll be look for me out on Fox. I'll be out on Fox at I think it's 12:30 Eastern.
There you go. Eastern. There you go. I got to tell you, my heart is full, and I can't wait to help you get elected, Victor. I know you're an answer to a problem that we don't see in this country, and you're exactly what the Texas border needs. Born and bred in the Texas area, lived in a life that your parents came from Mexico to this country. You guys, I tell you all the time, where the greatest part is, Victor's mom and dad got married in every state they lived in, because that's how much they loved America. This is what this man bleeds every day. When you were shot, you were bleeding American blood. Sir, thank you for all you do. I will talk to you offline later today. God bless you. And man, I'm just so excited. You just made my life, brother. I thank you, Victor, so much.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for your support.
Thank you. So there you go, right here on the Kevin Allen Show. And I got to tell you right now, I'm going to go to a break. And when I come back, we're going to keep on going and try to get focused, because I'm wound up right now. I want to go get a Victor Avila sign and put it on my front steps here, right here in Connecticut. Texas, watch out. Victor's coming home really, really soon. Back in a moment.
Thank you for watching today's show. Now go out and do good things. Please subscribe for the latest updates, and remember to like, share, and comment often.